Tell you.
Okay. Well, DBR here. Welcome to the Hamityville Horror. Thank you for visiting. I am Clint.
I'm Don.
And we are joined here with some very special guests. We actually want to talk about a new project that's coming out and happening. We're still waiting on one person to come. That'd be, of course, Larry Bones, who I'm actually very excited to talk to. But at the moment, we have Bailee Bob Sveen. And we have Eileen Dietz returning to us. Welcome back.
Two-time club.
You also have Jim Sveen.
Yes.
Oh, all right.
Jim is very important. He has a pivotal role in this project that we're talking about. And since I haven't spoken of what the project is yet, I'll go ahead and say it's a film project called The Dark World of Oz. So the way I understand it, it is a kind of like a we'll say a story inspired by The Wizard of Oz or perhaps Frank Baum's novels. So, Bailee, do I understand that you play Ozzy in this?
Yes, I play Ozzy Diggs, and Jim plays the dog Wiz, who's kind of like the Toto version. And Ozzy, I feel like she's a darker / more relatable, not as happy-go-lucky version of Dorothy.
Hi, Larry.
I made it in.
Wow.
Hey! It wouldn't be. It definitely wouldn't be the same.
I have no idea what's going on with my computer, but screw it. I'll get on my cell phone. We'll do it one there.
All right.
Well, thanks for having the patience to hop on.
Yeah, absolutely. How is everyone tonight?
Oh, we are just fine.
Great.
We are just fine. We were just introing the topic of the night, which of course is your movie, The Dark World of Oz.
Yes.
And we were just hopping in with Bailee there for a second about her portraying the character of Ozzy Diggs, and of course she showed me Jim, who is also playing a part in the movie, and I think that's pretty cool. So Wiz, the Toto type character.
Yeah, continue. I'd love to hear more.
Yeah. So Jim, is he like take direction really well? Does he get really absorbed in his character? Is he a method actor or something like that? I mean,
he did really well on set. He stayed by my side. He did what he was supposed to for the most part. There were some times where he was a little distracted, but he's better on set than he is at home.
Okay.
All
He
right.
didn't make any unrealistic demands, like he had to have Evian water or something like that.
No, nothing too unrealistic, but he did want to have pets and attention throughout.
Oh, wow.
He's a set pet. He's a set pet. That's what we'll call him.
I assume he's playing Toto.
Yeah, he's like the Toto version.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, Larry, I have to ask this because Clint knows I was going to ask this from the get-go because he knows how much of one of the movies that we always talk about I'm a huge fan of. So was any of this inspired from Return to Oz? If you have not seen that movie.
I actually have. I remember it. I think I've only watched it once when I was young. I remember it being very different from the original film. but most of it, it's a very, very strange tale because it was like August, the middle of August last year when someone was saying, "Hey, they're going to do a revisioning of Oz," and I'm always looking for thematic stuff to do every year. It's like, oh my god, this would be fun to do a horror version. And everyone got so involved in it because everyone loves Oz.
Right.
Every day, if someone's coming to me, oh my god, I love Oz. I love Oz. My kids love Oz. My grandparents love Oz. It's an amazing thing for that. So it's kind of like, oh, okay. So, but I wanted to do something a little, more in my genre, which is a little darker. And so I kind of look more back toward the Frank Baum books, which are, if any of you are familiar with the actual origins of Oz, it's very different from the movie that was now.
Larry, my mother read all of them to me when I was growing up, and we had the original set. And one of my sisters lost it. I mean, how can you lose that? But they gave it to my sisters because they have kids, and that's why they didn't give it to me. But no, that's why my mind is so warped, because I grew up with all the Oz books.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Absolutely. No doubt.
They're crazy. I mean, have you guys read the Oz books?
I have not.
I've read the synopsises of a lot of them because I was a huge fan of Return to Oz, and I wanted to see where the origins of that came from. And apparently it was two of Frank Baum's books wrapped into one. So, like the Gnome King plays a big part throughout the entire book series. But yeah, and Disney has a tendency to, take these dark tales and just turn them into something happy and bubbly. And, it's like, go read The Little Mermaid. And let me know how you feel after that. Same thing with The Wizard of Oz. Let me know how you think about that, because it's not the same portrayal as, you see, but, obviously The Wizard of Oz is film gold. It's a classic. You can turn it on. But Return to Oz is very underrated as well because it didn't get a lot of publicity. It didn't get a lot of advertising. And it's a really well done movie. I mean, it has, Fairuza Balk in it. It has Jean Marsh in it. And anybody that's ever seen Willow, she plays Bav Morta. So, I mean, she's an amazing actress. And, that's why I was curious about Return to Oz, because I know this is like a dark, macabre version of Oz, which I'm really excited about.
Can I say here that Larry is, if not the very best, the very best FX artist that I know in Los Angeles.
Woo!
So he's bringing his skills as an FX artist to all these characters, and getting chills thinking about them. They are so macabre, and they are such monsters that you just want to just shake seeing them. And so he's the perfect person to do this.
I couldn't agree more. I don't think I could agree more.
Yeah. So how long have you been doing effects there, Larry? I mean, I assume that's the bulk of your career, but I mean, how far back does that go?
Well, 30 years, actually. 30 years. I grew up in Oregon and moved to California when I grew up in the world of loving horror and art in 93. So 30 years now, I moved to California to join the industry at that point. So, and it was a moment of like, I have to do all these makeup effects things that I grew up with. It's only been over the last 10 years or so that I just started getting divided into writing and directing and creating new worlds of my own.
Wow, that's awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And I know that that you did some work with Universal Studios. I know that you were super involved in what was it, Halloween Horror Nights, which was basically a really popular haunt.
Yeah, absolutely. That was actually, I grew up on Universal Monsters. That was my thing that kind of got me into monsters. When I got there and got involved with Universal, brought back their Halloween Horror Nights in 2006, I got to be involved with it. So I kind of, oh my God, it was amazing. So I did that for 11 years, which was an amazing run. but then I needed more, so I had to make movies and make monsters and haunts and all these crazy things. So
That's very cool.
You see,
Okay.
see those statues in the back of me, my Zuzu statue? Larry made them for me.
Oh, well, is that the same one that you have, Don? Right behind you?
I think there's only one.
Oh,
okay. I have a Pazuzu too.
You got a copy.
I got a copy.
Wow, they're all copies.
But you know what? Mine has that. So eat it.
It does. It does.
Well,
Mine's got his signature.
Mine's ready to have a signature.
Yeah, right.
Buy me.
Larry, you need to make me one now.
oh, you need a Pazuzu?
I need a Pazuzu. Look at
Who doesn't? Who doesn't need a Pazuzu?
Everybody needs a Pazuzu.
I have a scary doll collection. That can
You
be
do
my
have a scary doll. I was looking at them. I was like, God,
yeah, Billy,
fucking dolls. I hate dolls.
Oh,
Annabelle, and then you can't really see because he's cut off, but a gremlin is right there, and then over there is a Freddy Krueger.
See, I can deal with
Awesome.
that. I can't deal with doll babies. That's
no.
that's
Don has a childhood trauma when it comes to doll babies.
So I watched the movie Dolls. That was the very first horror. Look, Clint's gonna call me out on. He's gonna laugh his ass off.
Yeah, go for it.
So the first horror movie I ever saw was Dolls with my dad, and my sister was still living with us at the time. And we get to the end, and I'm like, that was scary as shit. I no longer like dolls. So my sister found this out. And I would like to go in her room, and she had the Nintendo and everything back there, and she, sometimes don't come in my room. Well, she got the idea of just lining doll babies up in front of the threshold of her door, and nope, I would go right to my room. I would run from the hallway right to my room. Didn't care if they were there. I was nowhere to be found, and that lasted for like 2 or 3 years. Because like, damn, this is really terrifying. Like, why would you do this to someone?
Yeah.
I've had friends that won't come into my room because of my dolls.
Oh wow.
I'm telling you,
Maybe they think they're possessed or something. Yeah.
Maybe.
Watch that movie, Clinton. You'll know why.
Now I need to add it to my list.
Deal.
Yeah, because I'm like, this is terrifying. My sister gets wind of it and just uses it to her advantage. And I'm like, now I know why me and my sister don't get along so well. Because that very reason. So yeah. And Larry, what's really cool about the stuff that you've done, you've done, you worked on a movie called Outbreak, a lot of movies,
Yeah.
Bones, with Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg. Yeah.
It's the movies you do have under your belt are actually pretty freaking amazing. Outbreak has some amazing special effects. If nobody's seen that, that's actually a pretty damn good movie. But yeah, so you've been doing this for years. So what's a project that you hold dear to you? What's your favorite you've worked on? Your haunts or a movie?
Oh, I never pick a favorite child. I love everything, and it's always really what's current. And right now it is Oz. It's Oz, and it's because the world has brought it to me. It came like April. I think I looked back in my Facebook memories, April 15th of last year, when I saw that Oz was being possibly redone, and going, oh my God. I always like to find cool things to tweak and make weird and bring, especially to Midsummer Scream or whatever. But I said, oh my God, this would be fun to bring to Midsummer Scream. And everyone lost their mind. I mean, everyone. It's like I was getting bing. My phone was like blowing up. It's like Oz, Dark Oz, make Dark Oz. So right now, I think that's pretty much what I'm really focused on. I'm overwhelmed. I'm actually terribly overwhelmed. I most of the time I don't even know how to explain it, because it is such an amazing thing that everyone's growing on and building upon, and everyone loves. So that's really my focus currently, and probably will be for the next year.
Okay.
Yeah, and the script is amazing, of course. He's really written an amazing script, because I picked it up and, it's like Oz. How do you touch Oz?
Well, that's what I was going to ask you, Eileen, is how did you get made privy to this? Did he approach you, or how did you find out about it?
Because I'm Eileen Dietz.
True. Why did I even ask that? That's all she's got to say.
I've known Larry for quite a while. We got involved with each other. He was doing something on YouTube. And that's right, Larry, right? I came out to your place.
It was. Yeah, you interviewed in our very first episode of the thing that never took off the ground. But it was.
But I got to meet you and his wife Cheryl, and we just hung out and stayed friends and through other projects. And Larry brought me to Midsummer Scream, which, by the way, in my opinion, is the very best convention in Los Angeles. It's in Long Beach, and it's just an amazing show. So we've just hung out, just very close. And then he said, I have a script I'd like you to read. Would you read it? And I said, sure. And I went, well, it's odds, you know? And I was totally blown away, which is why we're here right now. Yeah. And as you know, I'm playing Auntie M, but she's a child abuser.
Yeah.
We can tell people that, right? She's really evil and really evil.
We're going to see this in a very short amount of moments in our trailer. It's going to be coming out here in a very short amount of time. And you can understand your character very quickly.
Yeah, you guys should fly out to LA and watch the teaser trailer.
Let's get a GoFundMe, Clint. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's get some money put together for that.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, you came up to New Jersey.
We'll drive. Screw it.
Yeah,
just take time.
So yeah.
let's ask Billy, how'd you get involved in this?
That's exactly where I was going to go next.
Oh, see, we're in the same.
One of the Hexen sisters, which is sort of like a witch.
Yep.
She is someone that I knew from Halloween Horror Nights. I also worked at Halloween Horror Nights, but I didn't know Larry at the time. We just happened to both be involved. I was a scare actor, so I knew other scare actors. And she was a maze supervisor in charge, and she remembered me a few years later when she saw the casting notice for Ozzy Diggs, and she told Larry, like, oh, that description sounds like this person I know from Horror Nights. Her name is Bailee Bob. You should reach out to her. And so he sent me the audition, and I looked at it. I related to the character a lot. I loved it. I loved the idea of getting to do something like that. So I did my audition. I did the best that I could, sent it in, and then didn't really think much of it after that, because that's kind of the life of an actor. You shouldn't really think too hard, because for every 100 auditions, you get one yes.
Yeah.
So thinking about them is dangerous. So I never do that. I do the audition and then I just kind of go on with my life. But then it was the very next day that he was like, hey, you're Ozzy Diggs. And I was like,
Yeah. So I guess my question about that is, how would you describe the disposition of your character? I mean, since it's a dark movie, does your character have a brighter outlook than that? Or are you someone who's, more like a brooding, depressed type, who's just trying to make their way in the world? You know what I mean?
All I'm doing is watching Larry, because I know exactly what he's thinking. It's fucking hilarious.
Definitely the latter.
Okay.
Which is kind of funny that description, that was the description of her, and that's what Erin, the girl that referred me, it's funny that when she saw brooding, dark disposition, she thought, oh, Bailee Bob. I feel
thought of your dolls.
Maybe, because I'm a pretty bubbly, happy person, but horror is my favorite genre. I love dark, spooky, scary crap. I grew up on horror. My favorite movie is A Nightmare on Elm Street, and like Robert Englund is my idol. So it's my genre.
Understood.
But I feel like that's more relatable though, because that's like the real world. The world isn't a Disney movie that's happy-go-lucky and you're gonna go move to and then get married to a prince. Like, shit happens. People get shot. Child abuse is a real thing in the world, and sometimes it's hard to just have a positive outlook all the time, and sometimes it lets people get down and negative, and that shows that she's a real human being and vulnerable. And I think she is much more relatable than the original Dorothy is.
Yeah,
I agree.
I agree. I like the fact that you say that, like you said, I mean, shit happens in the world. I mean, and seeing, I think that's why it took to Return to Oz so just so much is because, I mean, within the first 15 minutes of the movie, she's trying to get shock therapy so she can forget Oz and forget, dreaming about it and everything. It's like, if you were the aunt and uncle and you live with that, you would definitely try to figure out a way so that you could get rid of these things. Like, she doesn't sleep, she doesn't eat, she just talks about it. It's like, we got to figure something out here.
Well, that's if you have caring, wonderful aunts and uncles. I mean, it sounds to be like this is a little different than that.
That's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm getting at. It's like,
Yeah.
that's still nice. And, hey, there's going to be a happy outcome, it's funny because, McFarlane Toys did a line of Oz figures. What if Todd McFarlane, who drew Spawn and, did the Spawn comics and a couple other things, what if he did the Wizard of Oz? And it was terrifying. It was terrifying. Like, Dorothy she had the Scarecrow. You could see where she took out his brain. He didn't have one arm and she had him on a chain dragging behind him.
Oh God.
No,
And this was a figure. So that's what kind of perked my ears up when Eileen had brought it up. Was I'm like, it sounds kind of like that, because nobody likes to touch Oz in that way, shape, or form, that dark tone.
Yeah, I hear you.
So Larry, I don't want to put words in your mouth, so I'll kind of let you explain it a little bit. But to me, I took this this story to basically be Bailee Bob's character Ozzy is a child who is not having a good time and had to develop a fantasy world of her own, and then she finds herself in the wrong place at the wrong time and sustains a pretty regrettable injury. You want to elaborate a little bit as to what your idea is here with the movie?
I would like to put the platform onto Bailee Bob's and have her what she would like to do, because she's better than not spoiling. I can easily
Damn it. You tried, Clint.
I was trying to get you to do that. No, go ahead.
I would like Eggs to tell what she has the only current script. Very few people have the current script. I'd like to hear her.
It's funny. I was actually thinking to myself, like, oh, I wonder if he's going to do any spoilers. I'm glad I don't have to answer that question.
Whoops.
I don't like spoilers. I like my mom, like, she is so mad. I don't tell her anything. Like, there's an ending that is not what you would necessarily expect, and she's been asking me for the past however long it's been, and I refuse to tell her, and she hates that. But anyway,
Ozzy Diggs, tell me your story.
Can you kind of rephrase your question?
Tell me a vague amount of your story.
My story?
I know. It's a rough one.
Okay. Well, I will say one thing that I found from Ozzy Diggs that isn't necessarily written, and I don't even know if this was in Larry's brain or if this is just something that I interpreted on my own, but I believe that Ozzy Diggs has mental illness, as do I, which is why it's so relatable. Like, I have depression and anxiety, and I'm on medication for it, and I'm stable. And I really felt that Ozzy also suffers from depression, and that was something that helped me get into be in character and really relate to her and almost feel like I wasn't acting. I was just existing. Her circumstances are worse than mine. I don't live with child abusers. I actually grew up very great household. I have the most loving, supportive mother ever. It was just me and her. I grew up without a dad, I actually met him later in life when I was about 21. So me and her, because of that, we were just super close. I didn't have any other siblings at the time until I met my siblings later in life. That's a whole other story. That's a whole other thing. So even though like I don't have those same experiences as Ozzy, but I do have, you know, depression, and I've had to deal with some really dark thoughts, and I've had nightmares that have come from that try to tell me like that I'm not good enough and remind me like you're never gonna amount to anything. And Ozzy also has these nightmares that are very vivid and vicious and torment her. And I just think that that's pretty human. It's human to have nightmares and to have insecurities and doubts, and that was just something I really related to and really love about
Damn,
her.
I'm about to fucking cry. Holy shit. No, that was, I mean, it's and being serious, like it's like that's the fact that and you know, me and Clinton, as we talk to these new up and comers, you know, and even a couple of the older ones that we've talked to that have been in, you know, 50, 60 movies, you know, they deal with social anxiety and stuff, and it's just so it's rewarding for us to watch them on the big screen because they get over that, because they are another character, they are another person. You know, but having something so close to home like that, you know, that would terrify me. I'd be like, how am I going to be a character that I already am in real life? You know, like, and that's probably why, one, I haven't acted, but you know, just that's just cool that you can put yourself in that situation and make it work. So kudos to you for overcoming your own personal demons to deal with your fantasy demons.
Thank you.
And I think I pretty well know, in my opinion, that the reason people love horror so much is because in watching the movie, they can exercise, excuse the expression, but they can exercise their own personal demons in a very, very safe place. And most of the time, when you think about horror, it actually ends happily. You know, the good guys win and the monsters die, even in The Exorcist. But I think it's kind of like a roller coaster ride, that you get the thrill of the ride, but it's not, you can just get the feelings and exercise those feelings and feel scared or angry or unhappy or whatever. But then the movie ends and you can go on your life. And I think that's why now horror is even more prevalent than, I mean, with Terrifier 2 and, you know, The Black Phone and all this stuff that's coming out now, that people are just embracing it because the world, like you said, is so fucked up and we have no control over it. It just, every day it just seems worse and something else that's happening. And, you know, it's just like, you just want to, I just want to tear my hair out or just turn off the TV, but I've always been a news junkie. So I think that is totally why horror is so important and why people will love going on this yellow brick road with you and experiencing that vicariously.
Yeah. Well, and I'd like to stay on you there for a second, Eileen, because you know, like Don, you know, I feel that Bailee Bob really conveyed something I think that is the mark of a good actor, is being able to draw from personal experience and being able to, you know, tap into emotions that are just underneath the surface in order to really bring a character to life. So my question is, since you're cast as an abuser, I mean, what did you draw from to basically want to be mean to this girl over here?
Don't you want to know?
I do, actually.
I think also as an actor that you don't have to replicate those feelings. That, like, the best example is like if you had to murder somebody, well, you murder a fly, and the same emotion that you used to, you know, murder a fly is what you're gonna used to murder a person. So you don't actually have to go out and murder anybody. But yeah, I mean, I had a tough childhood, I guess. And so I've never quite played this type of character. I've played very evil people, but I've never played this type of character before. Thank you, Larry, for letting me do that. And I think you just pull from, it doesn't have, for me, it doesn't have to be a duplicate experience. We've just all experienced feelings like that. And I think also there's great joy in playing someone who's really evil. It's fun. Hitler had fun, you know. I think the best performances were evil. Anthony Hopkins he had a great time playing that, and I think actors really need to know that you don't play evil. There's no way to play evil. You can only play the script, but it's great fun being evil and having a chance to play it and killing people.
I do want to add on to that, like, even though in spite of all I said about Ozzy, I have also played the other spectrum, like that movie that I was talking to the two of you about earlier, Deathcember. I am not the best person in the world, and I do something pretty horrendous. I won't spoil it, but it's definitely not something that Bailee Bob would ever do to someone, because it is obnoxiously violent. But it was really, really fun to get to do that and to do that role and stuff.
It is. I mean, I play evil so much, as you guys know, and that it's just fun being able to experience those feelings in a safe place that you don't have to actually go kill someone.
Yeah.
However, I know some people I'd like to go kill.
I think everybody on here does.
They're actually having a TMC Movies is having a huge screening of The Exorcist at the Chinese Theater on Saturday on IMAX as part of the 50th anniversary celebration, I guess.
Clint,
that's awesome.
GoFundMe sounded even better.
Did that have anything to do with people I'd like to kill? Maybe.
Maybe so. Maybe so.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't sound to me like you got invited to that red carpet. That's a shame.
Actually, I got invited by TMC.
Did you?
Oh, nice.
So
That's
awesome.
awesome.
I am probably gonna go.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think I'll probably go.
We're gonna figure out a way.
Linda's not going. She's not going. She doesn't go anywhere that she can't get paid to go. But I think Billy Freakin is going to do a Q&A.
Nice.
Getting back to Oz, Larry. Speak up, Larry.
I don't know. I can't get over you, man. You keep talking. I'm trying to get in here. What do you want to talk about, Oz?
Do you play? Do please tell me you play the wizard?
Oh.
I'm gonna call it now.
Come on, Eileen.
What?
Oh, tell me about your.
I'm not talking anymore. I'm done.
The hell you are? You're not done yet.
No.
What, Larry?
What's your character? Tell me about your character.
Well, she's Auntie M that we all know and love, and who's married to Hank, Uncle Hank, but she just treats her daughter like I mean her niece, like someone who she despises and hates. Probably a little jealous of her and of her adventure and her spirit and her lovely, something about her just pushes every single button. And she almost can't stand to see her face in the room, but then she does because she relishes just, abusing her, putting her down. Right, Larry?
Wow.
Yep. Pretty much. Okay, we need the niece.
Yes.
What's your character? Tell her.
Sorry, what was the last thing you said?
What's your character? Just for that.
So let's see, what have I not said yet? So we know that Ozzy Diggs is paralleled to Dorothy, but more dismal. And I think she's also more artistic. She draws, she has a notepad and she sketches, and a lot of these sketches are inspired by her dreams and her nightmares. And her putting these dreams and nightmares onto paper are what helps to make it more solidified and more real, and it gives those creatures more power. I went out and I bought like a little sketch notebook to start doing some doodles myself, because that's something that I'm not talented in. I'm not an artist, like drawing wise, painting, coloring, that kind of a thing.
You are an
I am an artist in other ways. But I went out. I used to actually, when I was a kid, I used to draw a lot and I was pretty good at it, but I just stopped. So I went out and I got a little sketchbook and I started doing some little sketches and stuff just to kind of make myself turn into Ozzy more, I guess. Yeah, she's had a hard childhood and she's overcome a lot, and she's very strong and perseveres.
Yes.
See, that's amazing. Love it. Love the story. Good, Larry.
This is, I don't know. I don't really know where to go from here. We are such in a weird place right now. We're about to be opening to our screening for our cast and crew here in a couple of weeks, and so everything is coming to a trailhead right now. The CG is coming in, the editing is coming in, the sound is coming in, the financial backers are coming in, and I don't know where quite to go from there. I don't know. It's such a wild ride. It's like a tidal wave of Oz.
Yeah.
So
I am interested in a few more characters from the film, and I don't know if there's a great deal that you can say about them, because I know, as you say, you're getting ready to screen it.
Yeah.
But I saw a familiar name in there, cast as the Beast, and of course that's James Stokes. So I mean, we've spoken to him before on some other projects that he's been in.
Oh, nice, cool.
Yeah, I didn't know. I assume that would be kind of like the darker version of the Cowardly Lion, but I didn't know if there was anything that you could say about his character.
Vaguely.
Okay.
You're right. You're vaguely right. He is the Cowardly Lion, but not like the polar opposite. The one that wants to kill. You'll see stories of every person you would know in the normal Oz story, but this one's going to be able to kill Ozzy Diggs. So there's a backstory there. So it's really hard to tell you too much, but yes.
Okay. And of course, sorry to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
Oh, and I see that you have Trevor Newland cast as the Straw Man, and I was just curious what was unique about him.
Well, I had working before with a guy named Eric Walworth, who is 6'11". So I was involved with gigantic people. And so he walked into my life because Eric had moved across the country. So big guys, and he wanted to be involved, and I wanted someone gigantic. So he walked into us, unfortunately. We'll see how much glue we put on
him. And obviously, I have to ask about the Metal Man. I know that your Tin Man character, but I don't know. Is this guy have like a bionic arm or something like that? I mean, what have we got going on here?
Oh, you would not believe it. I mean, really, in the 2.5 minutes, you see him for like 5 seconds at most. And we were putting stuff together with foam and hot glue and spray. I love it. The middleman is really important to the character. So I'm looking actually eventually to do maybe something with like 3D printing. I've been doing amazing 3D printing of like bodysuits and stuff. So I've already talked to the performer Adam Aldrich. that dude. Yeah. He works for Disney Universal. He knows how to run the stuff. So that's
yeah.
where we're going.
Very cool.
Absolutely.
So what's your time frame on this movie? I mean, you said you're going to have a screening.
Yeah, well, we're screening in 2 weeks. Just, it's weird because, most people will shoot a film and then cut it down to a trailer. And I said, no, let's shoot a trailer and build the money for a full feature. So it was very different. And people were going, can you do that? So why can't we?
Mm-hmm.
Why can't we take all the money that we have and put it into the big bang? So that was kind of my plan. But so we've already got several financial backers interested in it. They're coming to our screening. So
yeah, I've heard of that yielding good results before. I mean, filming a trailer and then using that as your tool to drive the financial backing of a film. I mean, so I really hope that it does exactly what it's intended to do.
Well, I do too. It's just kind of like putting here, let's put a $1 million film in front of you for $10,000.
Make it work. Make it work.
Look what we can do. And in my beautiful world is how can we make practical effects in front of a CG world or behind a CG world? Make the worlds work together.
And I think you're gonna stay off crowdfunding, but if we do it, then people will come help us succeed, right? But we're gonna look for private investors. Is that right?
Well, always. I don't think there's very rarely anyone that goes, I got in funded by one place. It's always a lot of places. So.
I hope
watch any film, it's like how many animations of film production videos produced by this one. It's a crowdfunding, even when you get out of crowdfunding.
Right.
Do you since we're on that subject, do you have a general idea of how much you feel that you need to make this project come together the way you envision it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I knew that it's a weird world. It's a weird world because I could do like first person perspective films and for $10,000, but this is not that. It's a very ambitious project with a lot of practical characters in front of a CG world. And I know I don't have to do the highest end of it. Our hit point is 500,000.
That's complete, and that's not it's not unreasonable either.
No, it's not.
No, I don't think so. And you don't need to. We sat and watched a movie at a theater the other day and sat for 20 minutes watching the credits go by. And I don't have a problem with that because everyone involved was amazing. But it's like you get to the end, we want to save it to the end to give you the next piece of the puzzle. This 2 seconds, a little video of the next moment of your life of this movie.
Very true.
That's become very popular.
Yeah.
Putting a scene at the end.
But you have to sit there. You have to sit there. And I don't have a problem with that because I love giving credit where credit is due.
Absolutely. And especially in this day and age, people really need to have that reinforcement that, hey, you guys are doing a good job. Keep it up.
Yeah. It's amazing how many people.
Right.
No, I was saying I was really looking forward to seeing the teaser that we shot because it was so much fun to shoot it. And the nice thing about doing indie films like this is that everybody wants to be there. Nobody's there for the money, because there isn't any. So everybody's from the crew. They great cameraman on the set. I just loved him, and assistant camera and just about all the crew. They are all there because they want to be there, and you can feel it in the room. And it all comes from the top, from Larry and his amazing wife Cheryl, and it all just works its way down. So to say, give me more. I want to do this. But I think that we shot a really good project.
Well, I want to see it.
I do too. So like once you screen the crowdfunding trailer or what you're calling it, is that going to be posted somewhere online for people to view it to gain interest in the project?
Yes, absolutely. I think the night we're actually going to explore it to everyone, our casting crew, we're going to put a QR code out, everyone to check out the trailer. It's been a long, exhausting road, and I can't wait to ever show it to everybody.
Well, we want to see it.
Yeah, I absolutely do.
I'm definitely, like I said, I'm down for anything with Dark Oz. You can count me in 100%.
You guys got to come in from North Carolina.
I'm from Virginia, East Pennsylvania.
I'm sorry, I don't know where I got that from, but you gotta come watch it, and we're all bringing refreshments.
All you had to say was you were there. Now I'm gonna get bribed with refreshments.
Yeah.
But you did that already. You came to New Jersey.
Yes,
it did.
Definitely. Well, like we said, we don't want to keep you guys on here too long, but this Larry, go ahead. Sorry, brother.
I'm sorry. I just wanted is Bailee still there? Bailee Bob?
I'm still here.
All right. Tell me about your character. Tell me about why this amazing project is so amazing.
Well, I loved The Wizard of Oz when I was growing up as well as all of the horror movies that I also loved. I was never restricted as a kid on horror movies. I was 3 years old when I first watched Freddy Krueger. And yeah, I can't remember my first scary movie or anything like that because it was just something that was so in my life already to begin with. So it's a part of my childhood, part of my upbringing. So the idea of that story, The Wizard of Oz, being sort of transformed into something dark and horror, I just think makes it all that much better and all that much cooler and exciting. I think that things that are dark and creepy are more exciting than things that are happy and bright.
I couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. I could have said it better myself.
I knew I hired the right girl.
Well, certainly, even the original film has so much horror in it, from the Wicked Witch and the monkeys.
Yeah, the monkeys
are horrendous.
Houses falling on people, and sorry, but lollipop kids, man, fuck them dudes. They were terrifying.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but they were no. You go back wherever you came from. Terrifying.
I thought the flying monkeys were really cute, actually.
See, a lot of people I've heard that they're like, "Oh, I want to take one home." I'm like, what's wrong with you?
I thought they were really cute.
Yeah, they were terrifying.
They scared me.
Oh, Clint, we gotta tell them the story. Quick story before we let them go.
What story?
As soon as I say, all I gotta do is say the first 5 words.
Oh my god!
So we went to the Poconos, and we went to this store. And it was a Wizard of Oz. It was a Wizard of Oz inspired store, right?
Yeah.
And so we're walking through, and right off the bat, we knew something was wrong because you got this asshole's looking at you from up top. You know, got a speaker in his mouth. It's like, oh, well, we know what we're in store for now.
Yeah.
So we're going throughout the store, and first thing we run into is what do we run? Spanish Dorothy, Dorothina.
You called her that.
She was. She wasn't. She was Spanish Dorothy. You hit a button, she'd start talking. I'm like, nobody hit that button. I don't want to see this shit. It's going to be scary. Yeah. So then we kept moving along, and then we got to the Cowardly Lion. That was terrifying. Clint, and you can attest that was terrifying. So as we're moving along, we just keep seeing more scary shit. Yeah. Like then we see the Tin Man. That was it for me. I was like, I'm done. Yeah. I don't want to see any more of this. No more.
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute. What made them so terrifying?
Because they were like deformed and
they were animatronic.
And they were animatronics. So and I fucking hate animatronics.
It was like Chuck E. Cheese, but Wizard of Oz characters. It was something else.
It was not Chuck E. Cheese. I can handle that. I don't even know what you want to. I don't even know what this is. I don't even know. Yeah. It was horrifying. It was terrifying. And then we get to.
It was the weirdest country store I'd ever been to.
Who didn't have the hands? Who was missing their hand?
Glenda? That was Glenda the Good Witch. She was missing a hand.
Missing a hand.
That was really weird. Yeah.
Yeah, Eileen, you should sit there in terror because it was it was terrifying. I'll send you some stuff.
Okay. It sounds
awful.
Like,
oh my God, this is terrible. And it is, it's awful.
Yeah. So if you ever make it near the Poconos in Pennsylvania, check out the Country Junction.
Or better yet,
largest general store in the area. You know, it is a Wizard of Oz themed nightmare.
There you go, nightmare. Okay, good. I'm glad you threw that at the end there.
Is the Poconos close to Philadelphia?
It's not far from it.
It's not far from
I'm going to Philadelphia the first week of June to do a pilot.
You should just check that store out.
If it was close enough, that sounds like it would be really. Yeah, send me the information about it.
I will send you info, and I will send you pictures, and I will send you videos that we took, and you will see what is terrifying.
Hey, I guess we lost Larry.
Larry is on black screen and he's muted. So
turned his camera off. He must be talking to somebody or something. Well,
right. So, but anyway, I wanted to end with that because talking about Oz and how terrifying it is, and then you can see shit in real life that's just as terrifying, based on the Wizard of Oz. Way to go, Country Junction.
I think few people who are listening will really, really have a unique experience watching this movie. And being part of it, it really is like nothing you've ever seen before.
I as soon as you said something, I was like, I want to know more about this movie. I don't care how much more.
You guys said something on the first interview. You brought it up that you saw another film of mine, and then you started talking about this. Yeah. So you brought it up, and then we
just kind of snowballed it from there.
Yeah. And here you are.
Yeah, and still want to know more. I just want to see it because again, you know, anything that can transform the Wizard of Oz into something dark and twisted, I'm in. I'm in 100%. So,
and I'll speak for Larry. We'll keep you updated for sure.
Oh my God, please,
whatever's going on and whatever stage we're at and with the trailer and stuff.
Oh.
I started following Dark World of Oz on Instagram. It's listed there. I started following it on Facebook. I think I know I started following you today, Bailee Bob. And I'm already following Eileen. So when I see updates on this project, I'm going to share them on my page, especially if there's anything that we can promote. You know, that if there is a crowdfunder where, you know, just the individual who wants to throw a couple of bucks at it can get involved in. I mean, I want to make sure that the people that we know about it. So,
yes.
Well, they do now, right?
They will.
So
they will in about 10 minutes.
Are you going to put it out immediately?
I'm going to try to, because I don't have anything else to do. So absolutely. I just got to go eat dinner. And then I'll probably put it out there. I got laid off from my job last Monday. So.
Oh no!
I'm trying to get all the videos that we haven't had out there. So, but everything's working out. Everything's gonna be good.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, Eileen, the fact that you came on here again, I can't thank you enough. I really, really cannot. And I'm so disappointed that our time in New Jersey was so short. But you
Me
know what?
too.
That just means the next time it's going to be even better.
But we had a great dinner too.
Thanks.
We went to the Hard Rock.
Oh, you did? You went to Hard Rock?
Incredible Asian restaurant there that was super cheap. And the bowls were that big. I mean, the bowls were huge. So I thought of you.
I appreciate that.
And what happened, they came out, I was doing a horror convention at the New Jersey Horror Con, and these guys came all the way up from Virginia to say hi. And then he wasn't feeling well. So they left. I saw them for what, 10 minutes?
10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes. And you know, not to like cause anybody's reaction or anything, but after I wound up getting home, I wound up testing positive for COVID. So that's what was, I was like, okay, I gotta go. I didn't feel that bad, but
do you think he spread it?
No, that's exactly why I left. Because I was like, I'm just gonna keep the exposure. That's why I didn't get a picture with you, you know, and everything. I, you know, just wanted to make sure that I stayed kind of away from everybody, and you know, so feeling a lot better now. And you know, like I said, I was disappointed I didn't get to hang out with you more, but you know, next time that just means it's gonna be even more special. So
we will do it again. I'm glad you're feeling okay. I'm glad it wasn't too bad.
Thank you much. Bailee, it's been great talking with you. I can't wait to see what you got. You got this one. I'm sure this ain't gonna be your first rodeo. I'm sure you're gonna have
we'd love to talk to you again. I mean,
I'd
especially
love
when
to talk to you guys again too.
Yeah. When the project sounds like we've got some ways to go. I really hope the crowdfunder goes well, and when this thing comes out, I would love to reconvene with you guys. It would be awesome to talk to you again about this.
Well, hopefully we're not going to crowdfund. That would be the ultimate idea, to not crowdfund, but it is an option, of course.
Right.
And then we'll be back.
You will be back. Yep. So whatever.
We don't recast Wiz.
Yep.
Yeah. Don't recast Wiz.
No. Hell no. It's not happening. So again, guys, follow these guys if you can. Facebook, Instagram. If they want to be found, they're there. If they don't, they ain't gonna be there. Follow us, Hamityville Horror Podcast. That's our Facebook group. Hamityville 2022 is our handle on Instagram, Twitter. This will go out on YouTube. We have our channel on YouTube. Please check it out. Like, subscribe so you don't miss any of our new stuff. Guys, again, thanks for hanging out with us for as long as you did, and we will talk soon.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
All right, thank you.
Bye. Bye, Bailee. Bye.